Now we're moving into some kind of funky soul progressions. And the first one is a classic progression that you're going to find in lots of soul music, rhythm and blues, some kind of funky stuff like maybe from the 70s. This is a 1-9, which is simply essentially a dominant chord. Okay, a ninth is basically just a dominant seventh with the added 9. And so that means in the case of a C chord, like this is a C9 on this first example I've given you, you would have the notes would be C, E, G, B flat, because that's a major triad plus a minor seventh. And then the ninth would mean that you would add the D note. Pardon me. So you go up from C to C, and be an octave, and then one more up would be D. So the notes of this chord really are C, B flat, D, and sometimes you can leave the fifth, like the fifth is G. You can leave that in or not. Here I've just given it to you like this, which is kind of an easy way to play it. You can also play it like this, but it just lends itself, this voicing. We have the E on the bottom is really what you call a first inversion chord, but it's just one. Which just means that you take the third is on the bottom of the chord. You know, this is the lowest note. So there's your C9, and then it moves very subtly to the F9, which is your 4 chord. And again, this ninth chord is like a dominant chord. So in other words, you can make it just a dominant seventh like this, but I'm actually adding that ninth. And you can add this note too if you want. I haven't notated it, but it's, if you wanted to bar these two notes, you can. You get kind of that sound. But basically going from this chord to this chord, and this note, or this finger, is not going to move here. Okay, so, and then you have this B flat 7, which is a flat 7/7. In other words, it's a dominant seventh played on the flat 7 of that scale, which happens to be B flat. Because if you think about it, the 7th degree of the scale in C, if you count up, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, B would be the 7th. Well, flat 7 just simply means a B flat. And so we're going to actually have a dominant 7th on this B flat note, which is not really in the key of C, but it moves nicely to this G7. Lots of dominant chords. So actually all the chords in this little example are dominant sevenths, because the ninth really is essentially a dominant seventh chord. Now the other thing I should point out is that the rhythm is kind of funky. The first beat of the measure is a rest. Then you have this kind of, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Like that. So you know, really this is a simple rhythm part that you would play with like a really kick and bass line, and then of course the percussion, the drums would be doing, would keep you on beat, where, you know, he would probably be doing like maybe a bass drum on that first beat, so you could feel that and then dee da dum bum, dee da dum bum, ba dee da dum bum, and then the B flat actually comes on one, da dum ba, and the G7 comes on the G7 comes in the and of 2, so it's a lot of syncopation here. We got 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 4. actually, I didn't play that right. That very last one is so easy to get in the habit of that quarter rest on the first beat. The B7 actually comes on the beat. So let me play it one more time for you, beat. And then you end on your C9. So that is essentially that chord progression, and I'll show you a variation of that coming up next.